So, hi everybody, how are you doing? What string do I see here from the candles? I'm like, what the heck is that peeping there? I saw it in the camera here. Smells amazing. So, I had a live. I came on live wanting to say one thing, and you know what happens? I'm just making my tea here. It's a herbal tea, perfect peach. Ooh, that's what I'm gonna have. So, I came on live here wanting to talk about leveling up on standards. In a day, I am going through so many things that I have inspiration flowing through me. But I'm just making the tea here, so let's get that ready and set. And I'm wondering if I should put on the headsets to help with the sound. But the type of headsets I have um, don't look too cute, so I don't know about that. So right now, I just heard something from Andrew Tate. No, the one of the Tate brothers. What's his Christian Tate? Being on TikTok and then listening just before coming on, I even forgot the topic I wrote. Well, I didn't forget, but it just opened up a Pandora box of something that I already know, and then it gave me like a way that I could put it into words. So before we go ahead with this, let me get that off my chest. I'm going to freestyle. Okay, so let me play what I what.
I'll say something controversial here, but I believe that every young man needs a father in his life to teach him how to be a man, and he needs a mother in his life to teach him how to respect a woman and what a good woman is. And I believe every little girl in the world needs a mother to teach her how to be a woman and a father to teach her the expectations of how a man should respect her.
Oh, hold on. I am gonna start it
I'm gonna say something
again.
controversial here, but I believe that every young man needs a father in his life to teach him how to be a man, and he needs a mother in his life to teach him how to respect a woman and what a good woman is. And I believe every little girl in the world needs a mother to teach her how to be a woman and a father to teach her the expectations of how a man should respect her and how a man should treat her. I believe every single child needs the female and the male influence, and I don't believe a single mother or a single father, or two fathers or two mothers or 10 fathers and 10 mothers could ever do that. I think every child needs a father and a mother. I'm gonna say something controversial here, but I believe that every
Okay,
young man
so
needs
that's
a
about
father.
it. And basically, what we hear here is okay, there we go. Testing 1 2 1 2, trying to see if the sound is good. Okay, so basically, what Christian Tate here is saying is that every child, it's a controversial topic to most people, but basically, he's saying um, every child needs a father in their life to teach them. Every boy needs a father to teach him how to be a man, and every boy needs a mother to teach him how to respect a good woman or how to respect a woman. And on the other hand, he went by saying every girl needs her mother to teach her how to be a good woman, or like, from what she sees and experiences. And then every girl needs a father to set the standard for high expectations in her life. Um, this is something that I've been talking about on different lives that I go on TikTok, but this is something I've never really delved in because sometimes it's a bit challenging talking about things that people don't really think of, or like giving answers to things that people are not asking for. And I think when this happens, people shut down because everybody's going like with their own perceived conditions, issues, and then when you just speak about a topic which they're not ready to hear, especially if you go on different lives on TikTok, it's just zero. So I'm going to touch it right now. So people usually behave like their backgrounds of what they experienced the first 5 to 7 years of their life, and they will react those behaviors and patterns till their death until or unless if they don't like them, and they'll seek out answers and mentors who live in a way that they would respect or they would want to embody. There's this other thing which I don't talk about usually, and this is that I have the deep understanding and deep belief that with a man, it's important not to just look for love. You look at his relationship with his mother, how he speaks about his mother and women, because if he has an unconscious bias about women, which may be disrespectful, without understanding, or without responsibility, or some may have this belief that a woman should struggle, she should earn her place in a man's life and stuff like that. Good for them. But if you're going to date someone and you're just going by love, people miss so many big points and values that could help them create a life that is more fulfilling rather than a life that they have to argue every day about small things which one person believe like, how do you just not know this, like, why don't you just do this, and another person is like, I don't see the relevance in it. That is values usually. So I agree with Tristan Tate on that one. I agree. And sometimes the men who are born from different kinds of backgrounds and they change themselves, they evolve into s- by taking accountability and responsibility for the next chapters of their life. So that's a different story. And then for girls as well, I've now I'm going to touch on something very, 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 very fragile here. With girls, it's important that the father shows them expectations from a man on how a man should treat a woman, and they see that not by what the dad does for the child, but what the dad does to the mother of the girl. So if there are different women in the picture and a man is treating another woman well or maybe being kind but is a little bit weird or off or doesn't come correct or the right way towards the child, even if they have a good example with the other person who's not the biological mother, the child, the girl's DNA is the mother, biological, and the father. Just because the father doesn't get along with the mother or something went left or right doesn't mean that biology in that child goes away. So in short, what a child sees, usually this is girls, when they see a parent maybe with another woman being in a way that um, he's never seen his father towards. It could be basic things. It could be living under the same roof. It could be, shelter, anything that the child sees. With her DNA, the only sense she gets is a deep unworthy thing. Whilst a child who grows up in a father's home, the father is respective to the mother, the wife, and if the children speak out of turn, they correct them. The father takes on their role defending the woman. They learn that if people are speaking them some kind of way or they don't have that respect for ladies, they get put off because in their karmic structure and their grooming, it's something they didn't experience. But for those who've never really had that figure in their homes and stuff like that, they don't know what is right or wrong. So the world will teach them. And what the world will teach them is so different than what you can give your own child. Um, so having that understanding, I have come to a place where I understand that men play a big role in society because even the way the girls move, the way the girls dress will depend to the men in the society, the fathers, how are they? So like if you go to Dubai, in Dubai, you're incentivized for being modest, being coming from a good family with good values and a good name. It will take you further to get you a better life. If you come from a family where the name is tarnished or there is negativity and stuff like that, your life will be like tough. So people acting correct has an incentive. If you look at the Americas, um, let's say when it comes to dress code, women dress anyhow, dress anyhow. So in some circles, you will find that the more ratchet, um, the less tasty way people dress keeps them in a certain like environment, in certain experiences, certain perceptions, and then it might not be the best schooling. There might be shootings, there might be different kind of stuff. But if you look at people, not everyone, by the way, there's always exceptions, there's always different categories, but here I am like speaking in blanket statements because the video is not going to be 4 hours long. It just won't. So if you look at people who are in places of power, places of stature, and stuff like that, women are incentivized to look a certain way. So you see the first ladies, the people positioned in power who are on the top, representing different caliber of men who dress a certain way. That's a different tax bracket. I'm not saying if someone is looking at to be maybe a pop star, they're looking to be a musician, you can get to different levels anyhow, but I'm just talking about culture. Anyway, getting back to the story. So people will dress according to what's incentivized, because what's incentivized is what gives them a better quality of life. Looking at Zambia now and African countries, right now there's a lot that is going on where you see ladies are dressing more, trying to be more Western, more flamboyant and stuff like that, because they're trying to emulate the woman they see on the TV. The woman who's seen on the TV is more desired. The one woman who's more desired is approached more, is given more stuff, and he's treated way better. So you see most ladies going that way, even though that's in Africa. Um, mm, had to drink some tea, even though you will see that when it comes to family values and structure, I'll speak about Zambia for now because that's a country I come from. It's non-existent. It is non-existent. There are no structures and system politically and socially that um, what's the word that pay off when you have the right values of being like a man. If you stand by your word, if you stand by your family and stuff like that, there is no a penalty for jumping from person to person. There's no penalty for ditching your family and kids. There is no penalty for having a child out of wedlock or just having kids anyhow. So that is very common there. So usually in most societies, what you see is what is tolerated and what the system permits. Um, if you look at Dubai and other countries like that, you see that there is more wealth because there is an expectation that a man, before he can take a wife, or before you can take a wife, you can't just take any woman anyhow. You have to be at least stable. You have to be they have this understanding that you have to provide and you have to protect and all that good stuff. Not saying that the personalities that will be amazing and everything will be like easy peasy, but you will see that there is more wealth because men know to focus on creating something for themselves and passing it down, and that is something people live by. Um, so that being said, usually people experience what society incentivizes, and if there are no penalties for a certain behavior, especially when it comes to men, you see that society will struggle with growth because women and children fend for themselves, and it's like people keep on going through the poverty or cycle because they can't create wealth because it's just about pleasure. What do I want? How do I feel? As a man, I can do whatever. In Western countries like the US, thinking about it, when it comes to marriage, you just can't have a child and just walk away. You can get locked up if you don't do child support. If you're going to take someone and just live with them, You can't just kick them out anyhow. They'll have the right to your place. So there's rules that punish, for lack of better words, behaviors that are not good, and there are rules that really incentivize those that are going, they're doing the right thing. So if someone wants to create generational wealth, they cannot have multiple families. Maybe they'll see on, if let's say the mom is a stay-at-home wife or she's a working mom, how do they bring that to the family? Even if they had um, affairs on the side and stuff like that, they still have to take care of their home. That is a non-negotiable according to the law, according to structure. So here you see generational wealth, even if people are struggling, sort of like coming through, people, parents leaving their children a house, because houses in some places maybe about 500,000, maybe 700,000, $1 million, a million plus. And according to how well the family unit work, they'll be able to pass something down, in spite their feelings, relationship, cheating, whatever happened. But in countries like in most African countries, and I'll speak specifically about Zambia right now, since they don't have that, there is nothing to give the kids except karmic structures of struggle, where most ladies who are married, it's like they're dead end. It's not inspiring. It's very miserable. I'm not saying everybody, but majority. It's very, very, very challenging to find an inspiring couple. Some will put in a show for the gram, for the camera and stuff like that. But if you look at the value system, if you look at the value system and just the way people operate, it is not encouraging. Might be just my limited perception. Obviously, um, there are some people who are not in these brackets, but I'm just speaking in bracket statements. Okay, so now that being said, so I got so drilled by what Christian said. And if a man, regardless of his sexual desires and the way he moves around the world, if he understands this principle, I'll play it again. No matter what he does, the family will not be touched because he knows the significance. He knows, um, he has vision direction for them. Even if he has outside pleasures, that's it's an untouchable kind of thing. They understand that. Whilst in Zambia, it's by, oh, the structures are not there. And apart from the structures, men don't get this part. Now, when they have their daughters have seen women at their weakest, women crying, women, fighting for a spot. And when they go out there in the world, how do you expect them to do differently than what you showed them? And for the boys as well, how do you expect them to do better than what you showed them? And for us women as well, um, our behaviors, our character, being disrespectful, not knowing how to appreciate the man, how to let the man lead, and just different things we can improve on. How to speak, communicate better with our free time. If you're a stay-at-home mom, how do you evolve in that place? How do you grow as a person so that you're a better person, happier person, a better mother, and better wife, less complaining? And also, if you have a side business at home, in your own free time, it could be a passion project which brings income that ladies can do. Or that, how do we develop those things instead of just following after men and running after them and being on their case on what they did and didn't do? But what about us? What are we doing? There is that too. So, when ladies understand the role of a wife to show kids what a woman should be by living that life, not just speaking but not doing as they speak, and for a man knowing that he's setting the standard for the child's expectations, the daughters, and for the men, what a man does, how a man lives, responsibility, accountability. If you don't show that, don't expect that from your children. No matter how hard someone works, it's a dead end. Let me play Tristan again, and just so you can hear where the conversation came from as a refresher. Let's
life
go.
to teach him how to be a man. And he needs a mother in his life to teach him how to respect a woman and what a good woman is. And I believe every little girl in the world needs a mother to teach her how to be a woman and a father to teach her the expectations of how a man should respect her and how a man should treat her. I believe every single child needs the female and the male influence. And I don't believe a single mother or a single father, or two fathers or two mothers or 10 fathers and 10 mothers could ever do that. I think every child needs a father and a mother. I'm going to say something controversial here, but I believe that every young
So that was that. And I am going to rename this title, and then I am going to go ahead and I can't wait for the time when I have lives, and obviously that will come with consistency and where people can speak on, or even if it's not consistency. When I get a better following, please like the video, share, comment, let me know what your thoughts are. I'm going to create another video on structure and why you need them. Um, and how to find people with things you value so that in life you're using less brain power fighting things that should be a basic on a day-to-day on a day-to-day life. So mothers, get your act together. Dads, get your act together. At the end of the day, we all choose what we put ourselves into, so let's not point fingers and let's take responsibility and accountability. All right, bye.